Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm finally back. I've been away for about 2.5 months due to personal issues, as some of you will know, and also the children have been sick this week, last week should I say, and then they was off on the 6 weeks holidays. So I'm back as normal, 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we're going to do today just a simple video just to get me in a flow of things, as I am in a bit of pain at the moment. My carpal tunnel is really bad, so I'm all strapped up, as you can see. So we're going to be doing this mould which Let's Resin kindly sent me, which is the Axolotl Mold. Now I know you've all seen these before. I never really fancied doing one, but then when you get to the point where you're running out of molds to do, I thought, right, well, yes, I'm going to try it. So I'm just going to mute. So for you that don't know what an axolotl is, this is what an axolotl actually looks like. It's kind of like an amphibian. I think it's an amphibian. And it's a fish stroke land animal, reptile, whatever you want to call it. You don't need to correct me, I'm not into my amphibians, whatever they're called. And they can be on land and water. Right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to try and do a technique using acrylic paints. So I'm going to brush acrylic paint onto the mould, and I want the hopefully the acrylic paint will separate, and then I'm going to put some epoxy down, so it should leave a nice pattern. So I've got some 4mm cabochon eyes. These are just what I use in my frogs. And I'm just using pinky orangey ones, that's all I've got. So if you're not sure how to do these, I'll show you in a minute. So if you are going to do anything like this, I've put a line on that eye, and that just shows me the direction the pupils are going in, just because otherwise you end up with a cockeyed whatever you're making. So if I turn this over, we have got some deep gills here, so we'll need to squeeze these. So there's your eye sockets. You just need a torch or a lamp. I'll use both. I just used a torch to set it in place so it's stuck, and then I'll give it a bigger cure under my double-sided lamp. And I just want a drop of UV resin. I'm just taking my lid off because I'm one-handed at the moment. One drop in there, and I want my eyes whatever way they go in. And try not to touch the resin. Let me just get a dot in too. And when you've got it in where you want it to go in, and you just grab your UV torch and then cure it. And you cure it from underneath and inside as well, just because the UV resin will remain wet when you demold it otherwise. So just 10 seconds, and then 10-20 seconds on that side, and then we'll put the other one in, but I'll do that off camera because you don't need to see me do that. Right, so both eyes are now set in place. So when you've stuck eyes in, you need to be careful not to dislodge them because they can come out. So what we're going to be doing is I need just the back of this box will be fine. Just a little acrylic box. It's just so I can put my paints in, and I'm just going to brush I keep saying silicone. I'm going to brush the acrylic paint onto the silicone from red down to there, but the blue's a bit dark, so I'm going to lighten that with a bit of white. So we've got red, pinkish, or it's watermelon, so it's like a reddy orange, and then orange, yellow, green, blue, so a rainbow colour. I was going to do purple and stuff, but it's just too much hassle. Right, so let's get going with these. I should have opened them all before I even set the camera up. And I'm just going to squirt it in there like that. 1 second. Right, So I've got them down there. I didn't bother with the white because I actually thought the colours were a lot lighter than what they are. So we've got the red, the orange red, which is watermelon, orange, yellow, green and blue. So I'm going to start up at the head of the axolotl. But they have got gills here. So I might put just a solid colour down there, maybe some UV resin. I've got some different coloured UV resin, I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to start off with the red. Please bear with me because my painting's going to be a bit 1-year-old at this stage because of my wrist. And I'm just going to... just like that, and it should separate and leave a pattern, hopefully. God. I'm not apologising. I know a 2-year-old can do better, but I can't even hold the pen, the brush properly. And then we're just going to move on to the next colour, which is the orange. Let me just get some toilet paper, kitchen paper. I'm not prepared today. And then we're going to go into the watermelon. Right, I have no idea what it's going to look like, so what we need to do is we need to let it dry. You can either let it dry at room temperature or you can get a heat gun and dry it via the heat gun. I'm going to opt for the fast approach, which is the heat gun. I'm not going to show you how to dry acrylic paint, it's not that hard. Just basically until it's touch dry and then you can add your resin. So I'm going to be using Deluxe Resin's resin today. I haven't used it for a while, so I'm using their standard 1-to-1 resin. I do have discount codes and links for products down in the description box, so if you'd like to save some money, you can get some money off. So I'll put it on pause while I make up some resin. See you shortly. Right, so this is now dry, and I've mixed up 6 ounces of Let's Resin's resin, and I'm going to use some white pigment paste. You can use black or any other colour. I just want to use white just to see, so we can see the pattern properly. I'm just going to put a couple of drops in there. I can't even squeeze it. I don't know how I'm going to go about stirring with my left hand. I'm actually ambidextrous, but I can't, it should be alright. Anyway, I'll just speed through this. I'll come back once this is, in fact, I'm going to mix this and put it through my debubblizer back once it's debubbled. See you shortly. Right, so I've mixed up the resin and I've put it through the debubblizer. I've got some gloves on and I managed to get some gloves over 4 fingers, but I can't bend my thumb to get my thumb in. So, I tried at least. I just had to make sure that I don't touch the resin with my thumb. So we're just going to pour this. And I decided to leave the, what they're called, the gills, just white. So I'm just going to put a little bit there just to start off with. Just so that can run down into the gills. I think there's 4 gills there. Let me just check. I just want to pick that up and give him a little squeeze. Yeah. Just need a little bit more. Be careful when squeezing the gills if you're using an axolotl, as they're right near the eyes, the eye sockets, and you don't want to dislodge your eyes that you've put in. Right, let me just top it up. I only pour my resin in one spot. I don't start moving my cup and stuff, just because you can induce bubbles like that. So I just pour it in one spot and allow the resin to travel where it wants to travel. And that way then you don't get unwanted trap bubbles. I hope I've got enough with 6 ounces. I'll scrape these cups out in a minute. I just don't want to start scraping and then put bubbles like in the middle of the resin, so. You can follow the resin around once it's topped in one area. That won't induce any bubbles. Sorry if my hand's in the way. There's not much I can do about that, unfortunately. Yeah, I thought the colours would pop more. I'll be able to see the pattern a lot more with the red, with the white pigment, white backing, should I say. Right guys, that took 4 ounces, because there's half an ounce in there and there's an ounce and a half in there. So I'm going to find another mould to put these in. I'm going to move this over to my curing machine, and when it's cured I'll get back and we can demold it if I can get it out, and we'll take a look at what it looks like. So I shall see you later. Bye. Right, so I'm back and this is now cured, so we're going to get this demolded if it's possible to demold. So if you remember that we put the acrylic paint, brushed it on the silicone mould, and then that pulled away. This is my first time demolding one of these, so I can't grip it there. Bear with me, guys. Right, I have to get my partner to give me a hand. Right, so it didn't really do anything. Nothing spectacular, look. I think it would have turned out better if I'd have used maybe a black background. I got an air bubble there. I just thought I'd have a play around on my first video back to see if it would work. I'd have to try it on something else with just one colour and then do it in black, because then I'm not really see the way the head is there, that's what I was expecting. What do you think, guys? Nothing spectacular. I was just saying hello anyway. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave that with you for today, so please like, comment and subscribe if you've not already done so. That would help my channel out so much, and I shall see you on the next upload. Goodbye, thanks for watching.